We are your home for exclusive interviews and behind the scenes stories you won't hear anywhere else. This is all about Kentucky tracks, Kentucky drivers, and Kentucky fans. We eat, sleep, and breathe it anyways, so we figured why not make a podcast about it? For 11 years, we've been keeping the bluegrass covered in dirt. Now, we're doing it bigger than ever before. We are Kentucky's Dirt Racing Podcast. Welcome to another edition of Dirt Racing in the Bluegrass Live, presented by Smokehouse Grill and Buffet.
And welcome in everyone to the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studios. This segment is sponsored by Dirtman Diecast. You can check out his website at dirtmandiecast.com. You can call the Racetrack Connection hotline. That number is 859-412-1287. I'm surprised I remembered all that off the top of my head, Wes. I usually have at least a show outlined to, at least get me started, make sure we cover everything we need to cover, but been so busy, man, these last couple of weeks. I tell you what, it's just been crazy. So I'm out here tonight. I'm in the detail shop, the race shop turned detail shop, and I have an issue. My neighbor was weed eating, and I have to have the garage door open or I don't get good enough cell phone service on my hotspot that I use for Wi-Fi out here in the country. And so I had to open the garage door. My neighbor, now he started mowing. So if you hear a mower in the background, that's just my neighbor mowing what's getting ready to be in the dark. So we'll do the best we can.
Hey, it wouldn't be a show of ours if we didn't have some kind of issue, whether it's mechanical, technological. Now we got mowers, weed eaters, Wi-Fi. Hey, that's just typical, man.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I didn't get my pre-race stuff done. That I didn't do a nut and bolt check this evening either. Like I said, just been so busy. So, if you don't mind, share this out. We don't have as many people on. I didn't go through and do everything I normally do prior to the show to let everybody know that we're coming on. So share this out. Let's try to get some folks on here. Really excited about the show tonight, man. We're going to recap just a crazy good month of August, and then we've got one of the folks from 191 Speedway coming on here with us in just a little bit. Really looking forward to that, having that conversation with them. They've really worked their butts off there to bring that place back, and anytime you can see a racetrack open back up, that's what we want to see. There's enough of them closing down around the country. We're happy to see one coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a cool deal. And, as you and I talked, and I talked with him as well, I never made a trip to 191 to watch a race when it was open. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying to make a trip up there and watch a race there. And I've watched what they've done and seen some videos, and looks like you said, man, they've really worked their butts off after they've bought the track and got the place looking good, and looking forward to talking to them tonight.
Yeah, and looking forward to making a trip to 191 too. I can't wait. Got to see some races there, but anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a minute when a few minutes when we bring them on. But first, Wes, I want to talk to you about, man, what a month that August has been. We say August belongs to Kentucky when it comes to super late model racing. I mean, the eyes and just huge events all throughout the month of August. It was so much fun, starting at Ponderosa with the Pete Abel, then the North-South, and the Butterball, the Harold Hardgrove this past weekend. Unfortunately, I absolutely hated it, but I got caught on a job that should have took me a day and ended up taking me 4 days. I didn't finish it till Monday. I wasn't able to make it up there to Lake Cumberland. I hated that I have to miss that one. Absolutely did, but you got to go up there and fly solo and enjoy the Harold Hardgrove Memorial.
Yeah, I really did hate it, man, that you wasn't able to make it, because it was just a really, really great night of racing, packed house, with fans. The car count was great. I think 122 cars on the grounds. Um, just an awesome night honoring the late Harold Hardgrove, and I know it was just super special to Brandon and his family for the turnout and the racing program, how everything went. Just an awesome night, man. And I hated that you wasn't able to be there. I know I'd made a post kind of early. I said I'm like Dennis Herb Jr. I'm the one man band tonight. I didn't have nobody with me, but still able to cover everything and had a blast doing it. Talking to a lot of people and drivers that night, and it was awesome. And I gotta say this too, and I know I told you this, Josh, but it was just cool to see all the people, fans, drivers talking about our podcast, asking where you was at. You know, people in the stands and in the pits had our shirts on. Just super cool to see that, and people, giving us shout outs and hollering at me and thanking us for this podcast. And it's super cool, and we're still loving every second of it. And man, just an awesome night. It was picture perfect from start to finish, and glad that everything worked out great and was able to honor Harold and just be super cool for Brandon and his family, and I know he is very appreciative as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. Did Greg Miller not get a shirt? Did he?
No, he didn't get one.
Oh man, yeah. I mean,
We
our
didn't
cameraman.
we didn't have it. I know we didn't have his size.
I just cut you. Sorry, I lost track of. We got to fix that next year. Greg Miller.
Listen, and
He's
that's
getting
another thing.
He's getting a shirt free next year. I mean, I can't believe our cameraman don't even have a T-shirt. That's pretty sad, Wes. I got to be honest with you.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't order the sizes.
Yeah, you did, and I did. I know.
And I'm going to make a note of that, too. Had a ton of people asking about T-shirts, about hats, about hoodies. So I'm staying on him. I really want I want us to have some more shirts. I think the hoodie idea would be great, and definitely get some hats similar to these right here. I really want to do that. Kind of big dreams, but that's something maybe for next year that we can pull off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think all those things we can pull it off. I mean, we've had a lot of requests. Had a lot of requests this year. I tell you something else along those lines. I mean, I think we'll go a little bit retro next year. We've had a lot of people that really like the old logo with the dirt and all that stuff on it. So maybe a blend of the two, but change it up a little bit next year and do, we'll have it all come next year, hopefully.
Also need to get some stickers, where people can put them on their vehicles as well as drivers can put them on their race cars.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I did want to mention this, and Jeff Soxie makes a great point. Tommy Bailey debuted for the first time in 2023. Looked really good. Was fast. I think he ended up getting second in the crate late model race. And also gotta give a shout out to Monty Hart Signs and Graphics. That was a beautiful car, probably one of the best looking cars that Tommy's ever had. And also he done a great job on Dennis Spartan's car. Dennis was out debuting the 35 crate, and so both of them cars, Monty, you done a heck of a job on those. They was really, really pretty cars.
Yeah, and you're right. Back to the Harold Hardgrove Memorial. We got completely sidetracked there for a second, but that's all right. It's what we do here on Dirt Racing the Bluegrass Live. I wasn't there, but I got to. Fortunately, John Sandlin was there, and I was able to watch his live video. And it's cool because sitting there and like John's talking to me, and I'm commenting back to him. Like Wes is there somewhere. I told him, but Tori was able to sing that song and all. Like all that kind of stuff. It's like it's a very family oriented event. It really means a whole lot to them. And something I thought was cool. I didn't expect this, but Brandon ends up starting the feature, and he was fast from what I was, from
Oh
what
yeah,
people were saying. I think
yeah.
he pulled in early, but
He came from the tail. He came up 9 spots, so he would have started 21st,
yeah,
and he came up 9 spots. And when the racing got a little hairy, and they were battling, I think 3 wide, he pulled in. Just he didn't want to get caught up in a wreck and tear other people's cars up, and it was a cool deal for him to start that. And I don't think that was his intentions, but when they did the driver introductions, all the racers was telling him, so listen, tag the tail and race this thing. And I was just really really happy to see that from the drivers, to say, hey, start in the back, come from the tail and race this race. And I know that meant a lot to him. Something else you was talking about that I thought was cool was Howard Daniel, the sign that he had made, and I'm pretty sure Monty made that sign as well, but
yeah,
it said 12th annual Harold Hardgrove Memorial, and all of the winners from that night signed it with a Sharpie marker. So that's something cool that Brandon will be able to keep and have from this year's event. And I think that was a surprise. I think Howard told me, he's like, don't say nothing. I was like, I won't. And so that was cool for him to do that for Brandon.
yeah. It was. That was really cool. I saw that, and Howard had sent that to us, and so just an awesome event. All the way around, and a great way to honor the late great Harold Hardgrove. Brandon said in another one of his posts as he was sitting there in his car, just thinking about, and people were talking about Harold standing there at the track opening, smoking a cigarette, and
Yeah.
just he always stood in that same place, and so just so many memories, and like I said, a great way to honor him. I know you've got some results from the night too. It was just like I said, car count, everything overall. It was a great night.
Yeah, it really was. Josh Rice won the super late model race, and was his biggest ever, as far as money wise, with it being 15,022 to win. So he ran a great race and won it.
Yeah, Brantley, my 7-year-old
He
Brantley,
did.
steak dinner challenge. He gives me one more point, man. I'm starting to get a
Yeah.
little bit of an edge here. I kind of like it, but it was a good pick. He said I told him about it the other day. He's pumping his fist. He's like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah, he won." He's like, and then the day I was talking to him, I was like, "We're going to talk about it tonight on the podcast." He's like, well, I just picked the one that I thought wins a lot, and I thought that's really good.
Yeah.
It was also the only name he knows, which is a good
Yeah.
thing too. In my case, when it comes to this steak dinner challenge, the only name he knows is Josh Rice, and so for him to come on the podcast, it was kind of a win-win situation for me too. But
That's exactly right. And Annabeth, she done a good job. She picked hometown boy out of Campbellsville. She picked Jeff Watson, and
yeah,
Jay Watt ran a great race. He didn't bring his super, but he ran the crate, and he led most of the feature. Ended up, I think, finishing third, and AJ Hicks ended up winning, coming in late and passing him, and ended up winning the crate late model feature. Blake Brown won the open wheel modifieds. Blake doubled up again this weekend. Won the open wheel modifieds and the super stocks. Eric Parton won in the mini stocks, and Logan Preston won in the hobby stocks. So just a great night of racing. The track, yet again, as hot as it had been last week, the the track was in good shape. It was raceable, top to bottom, and was fast. So hats off again to Brandon and his staff on the track prep. And I'm telling you, just an awesome night all the way around at Lake Cumberland Speedway.
Yeah, that is awesome. Like I said, I'm glad you got to go and enjoy that. Hate that I couldn't be there. Missed everybody, certainly. If I could have been there, I would have. I promise. I had every intention of going and capping off that awesome month of August, and just didn't quite make it. But like I said, thankfully, John, that's one of those things. Like I wouldn't have been able to see any of it had he not been there. So glad he was there. Glad I got to at least sit on my phone and watch it. So. It looked like a great night, and glad you got to go there and enjoy it for sure. Just an awesome night. So happy for you. Glad you got to go and enjoy it, and I certainly would have been there if I could have at all.
I know it, buddy. I missed you being there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're going to get to, like I said, just wanted to touch on that great month of August, and looking forward to the next one next year. I'm sure it'll be even bigger and better. Huge, September of racing coming up. A lot of things coming up here at the end of the year. It ain't over yet. Some big events to come. And race season's just getting started. We're planning a trip to the World 100 for ourselves. Wes, we talked about it from the very beginning of the year. We had a lot of ambitions, goals, and things that I had, dreamed up and we thought about throughout the off-season, live coverage and live shows and all kinds of stuff. And we said, you know what? In order to be able to do that, we're going to have some sponsors. And we've had so many people. Terry Cheeks was on just a second ago. He said he was watching from Smokehouse Grill. So many people. I mean, Bluegrass Restoration, all these guys, the Detail Shop, Extreme Signs, Extreme Style, just the list goes on and on. The Ultimate Series, the Ironman Series, all of our racetracks. I mean, people were just so helpful to us to allow us to be able to get the equipment we needed, just to be able to do this podcast and things we wanted to do live at the track. Some of it worked and some of it didn't. I think that's just kind of, I'm telling you, you give me a few seconds of boredom and I'll come up with some great ideas. And here's the thing, most of them probably ain't going to work, but you don't know till you try. And so that's kind of how our year's gone. But it sure has been a lot of fun, and it wouldn't have been possible without the support of all these people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we love the support, and we're just so thankful for each and every one of our sponsors, all of our racetracks. We can't thank you all enough. I mean, the fans, the drivers, as we've mentioned several times, we're nothing but one big, huge, racing family, and man, we're having a blast doing this, and just thankful to everybody that supports us. And the sky's the limit with this, and we're having so much fun with it. And kind of like little Bobby Pierce says, we're just riding the wave and enjoying every minute of it. But we're thankful and blessed to have you all and the sponsors and just the help throughout this year. And it's flew by, but we've had so much fun, and we've raced all over the place. And, looking forward, got another big weekend this weekend, and then looking forward to making the trip to the World 100 to Eldora next week. So still got a lot of racing left this year, and the month of August has been exactly what we said it was. It's the month for the state of Kentucky in dirt late model racing, and it has just been one heck of a month.
Yeah. Yeah, and we said from the beginning of the year, the one thing we're going to do, we took all that money, we put it toward our equipment. We said the one thing we're going to do for ourselves is payment for work, all year. live coverage and all that stuff. We're going to take a World 100 trip. We'll pay for it with that money. Otherwise, we haven't pocketed anything. Like, there haven't been enough. But like, tickled to death with that. Like, I mean, we talked about, Wes, and I want to talk a little bit about. We've had a lot of people ask us lately. I mean, it's probably a question I get, or just a comment or statement, whatever. A lot of people, what are you planning on doing in the future? What's next for dirt racing in the bluegrass? And rightfully so, because this thing has blown up. It's been more successful than we ever thought. But we talked from the very beginning. It was me, you, and our buddy Brad. It was the original plans. It didn't work out for Brad to be with us, and a lot of things what happened with him. That didn't work out. So it ends up being me and you. But we talked from the very beginning. We said, what's the goal of this podcast? What is the ultimate goal? Is it to make money? Is it what is the goal? And we both said, we all said right there, the goal with this is to have fun, period. Just to have fun with it.
150%. Have fun.
Yeah. And so that's our goal, man. Like, we just want to have fun like everybody else in the sport. And anything you do, if you're involved in dirt racing, it's it's work. There's a lot of things involved with it. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy and effort that you end up having to put forth with it. But I think anything you do in the sports, you have to be able to have fun. And like, ultimately, that is certainly our goal. I mean, like I said, I've had all kinds of ideas, because I'm thinking myself, you know what, you're right, like, we could do anything. So I've got all kinds of ideas, and we could try streaming, we could try this, we could try that. And the thing about it is, at the end of the day, I think right now none of that makes sense. I think for our immediate future, going into next year and into the future, it's just, have fun, continue doing what we've been doing with this podcast. This podcast is a really good thing for our racing community.
Absolutely.
It's huge for our racing. Central Kentucky dirt racing needed something like this to bring fans and drivers and everybody together. And so I think immediately our future is just to keep doing this and doing it the best we can. For one reason, we don't have time to do what we're doing right now, much less much of anything else.
Yeah, we both are extremely busy with work, and we both got families and a lot going on. But dirt racing is a huge part of our lives, and it's always going to be. And we love it. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think we keep doing what we're doing. We keep just being ourselves. And if people out there listening, if you all are interested as far as like next year with sponsorship opportunities and stuff like that, just reach out to us. Send us a message on Facebook. Like I've said, the sky's the limit. With this, but we've got to always make sure that we are still having fun and we're able to do it to the best of our abilities, and we want this to be the best it can be. But number one, we want to have fun and enjoy it. So
yeah,
that's what we're doing, and I know this year's been crazy busy, but we have absolutely loved every second of it, and I wouldn't trade nothing to this date of what we've done. Man, I'm having so much fun. Y'all know that. And let's just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, I know you are. And I'll tell you, I mean, I've told you this before. I've said this before. One of my favorite things about this whole thing, everything that we've done, like I said, I've said this before, but it's the evolution of Worldwide Wes. I mean, here's the thing. Wes was Wes before dirt racing in the Bluegrass Live. He was. Wes knows everybody. You couldn't go anywhere with him. Now it's just like on a scale it's like that times 1,000. I don't know. I mean, we're on Facebook and YouTube, but I mean, like, Worldwide Wes Lanham is like the definition of Facebook famous. So, the kid that comes up to you all the time and says, "Hey, you famous?" And,
Yeah.
So it's just, all that is just, it's really cool. And I have a lot of fun seeing how much fun you're having with this whole thing. I mean, I have fun with it myself, don't get me wrong, but I just really enjoy seeing the evolution of World Wide West. It's been a lot of fun, and looking forward to seeing where it goes from here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loving that too. And, you gave me that name. I wouldn't be Worldwide West without Josh Chastain. So, I don't know. It's awesome, man. I love it. Like, case in point, right before driver introduction, I walk out there because I want to take a picture of, the super late model drivers before the start of the Harold Hardgrove Memorial. And I'm walking up through there, and, the Upright Racing gang in the stands hollering Worldwide West. And I mean, it was just awesome. James Botchard, all of my buddies, and it's just a cool deal, man. And it don't matter where I go. I go to the grocery store and somebody's hollering at me from across the aisle. There's Worldwide West. I love it.
Yeah. And it's crazy how big the racing community is too. I mean, like I've told you about that, see people at the ball field or wherever say, they'll say, "Hey, it's you're the," and actually I saw that guy at the ball field. He called me Wes. So I was like, "Yeah, I can't win anywhere I go." So it's which is fine. But it is a lot of fun. That's what we're going to keep doing in the future, having a lot of fun with it. Probably more of the same. Do it the best we can, and just having a lot of fun with this podcast because it's a good thing for our sport.
That's exactly right, David. That was super cool, man. Everybody stopping by when we was doing our little pre-race there on Saturday. So
yeah,
that's true, man.
Yeah, I believe it. Trust me. Yeah, I know all about it. So it is great. It's good, and looking forward to next year and then into the future. Like I said, just keep having a lot of fun doing it at all costs. We'll just keep having fun along with everybody else that tunes in and listens to this each and every week. So we appreciate everybody. All right, Wes, we're a little bit past our time here bringing these folks on. So we're gonna take a break here for just a second. I know fans have got a lot of questions, a lot of excitement around 191 Speedway coming back. We're gonna bring them on here in just a minute, talk to them, and hear about what they've done so far to that racetrack to get it ready and what their future plans are over there at 191 Speedway.
Racetrack Connection is a social media app designed specifically for racing. On the app, you can find a track, find a driver, review and print track schedules, and use the chat feature to communicate with other fans and drivers at any event. There's even a map feature where you can locate racetracks all across the U.S., plus many other features, all for free. Download the Racetrack Connection app today. Donnie Kaufman used to say, "It's good enough to make your tongue slap your brains out, honey." That's what we think about the home cooking at Smokehouse Grill and Buffet in Berea. Choose from the delicious options on their home-style buffet and salad bar, or order from the full menu. Not to mention their desserts and some of the best breakfast you'll ever eat. We promise you'll never be disappointed with this racing family-owned business. Visit their friendly staff and grab a bite to eat. Located just off exit 77 in Berea.
Hi there, I'm Alan Feldhouse Jr., head basketball coach at Madison Central High School. Here at MCHS, we have built a winning team. I'd like to tell you about another local winning team, family-owned and operated Bluegrass Restoration and Construction. They specialize in roofing, general construction, and home maintenance services. Just like on the court, you need a team that will work together to get the job done, and that's exactly what BRC does. Give them a call at 859-353-1133.
This is Worldwide West Lanham. If you're in the market for a storage building, look no further than our friends at Barton's Insulated Buildings. With nearly 30 years in business, they specialize in insulated storage buildings, mobile home underpinning, garages, and pole barns. With 2 locations at 3739 South Laurel Road in London and 3300 Cumberland Falls Highway in Corbin. Call them today at 606-528-7221 and tell them Worldwide West sent you.
And welcome back to the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction Studios. We are now joined by Norval and Miranda Collinsworth. Did I get that? Is that right? Everything good there?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. So I thought so, but I just wanted to make sure. Our first time, honestly, right here on the podcast, we like it that way, just like a lot of other people here watching with us this evening. Our first time meeting you all, so it's good to have you on the podcast here tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's no problem. I know, Wes. You've been to the racetrack. You've had a lot of conversations, probably a lot of the same messages that I've had. There's a lot of excitement around 191 Speedway coming back.
There is. There sure is. And like I said, I'm excited because I didn't get to watch any races there previously. And like you said, there's too many tracks closing down across the country, and to see one open back up is a good deal for everybody, and just really looking forward to making the trip over there and watching a race at 191. So yeah, the excitement and the buzz and a lot of people talking about it, a lot of racers, and just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you guys, tell me, thinking about bringing back that racetrack. I said this to begin the show, but so many racetracks closing down across the country. You hear about it every day. If you're on Facebook, you see it seems like a new one closing down every day. So it's really good to see right here at home another one coming back up there at 191. So walk us through the how did you come about purchasing the racetrack?
Well, this is me and my sister and my brother-in-law was sitting here laughing about it last night. And I've logged for several years, and after COVID, logging's not been the very best. And I was like, I'm gonna get into something else. And me and my brother-in-law, we talked about, shoot the bull, and then he just aggravated me, and he said, "Why don't you just buy a racetrack?" And the idea was always great and grand, just kind of thinking about it and going in one ear and out the other. But
yeah,
actually started thinking about it, and I was like, I think I can make this work. And I think this is going to be something good. And because I know everybody, when 191 shut down, nobody knew how much they'd miss it until it's done gone. And it's once I started opening it up, there's a lot of support. People come up there and helping me. A lot of people I didn't even suspect that even helped me has been up there every day, from like daylight to dark. And they bring people in to help me do this and do that, whether it's wiring, building, you just name it. They've really been there to help. And it's been a long journey, but we're getting it.
Yeah, I imagine it was. I mean, what has that? I guess early on, then you've seen exactly what we were just talking about here on the podcast. I mean, with the racing community. I mean, how the racing community gets behind something and supports something that's true here with what we're doing. That's true with 191 Speedway. And I know for you all that's had to, like, even early on. You haven't even had your first race yet, but having that support, it really has to mean a whole lot to you.
It does. It makes makes me feel because I've always just been self-employed and really never had support like that. And whenever people come up there and they offer this and offer that, I honestly, deep down inside, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I greatly appreciate anything y'all do for me, but I don't expect it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like nobody's obligated to help me. And any help is greatly appreciated. It's whether it's $5 or $500, or just like support on social media. I mean, that goes a long ways because there's lots and lots of people watch this, and that will watch it. You know, even
For sure.
If they ain't live right now, they'll be on later to watch it.
Yeah.
I've been watching people, you know,
Yeah,
I post
yeah.
just today.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we average, I don't know, I think on our live videos about 5,000. I think, you know,
wow.
through the month of August we hit our goal was actually, I needed to talk about this. Our goal was 1 million. We wanted to reach 1 million people. Wes, we didn't quite make it to 1 million. We made it to 748,000, almost 750,000 people we reached in the month of August. So not quite 1 million, but you know what? We'll take it because it gives us an opportunity to do things like this, you know, to sit here and talk to you and talk about 191 Speedway, you know, opening back up. So, you know, the
That's
racing
pretty
community
dang
is
good.
awesome.
It's almost
Yeah.
750,000 people. I'll take it, and that just gives us that much. We just work that much harder to try to get that million.
Yeah. Next year.
Next year,
Hey, it's 700,000 is a whole lot of people.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly is. Well, let me ask you this. So I don't know, first of all, when did not 201, 191 Speedway, when did it close down? I can't remember. And then what have been the biggest challenges, you know, what have you all gone through as far as the work? What kind of work have you done up there to get it back to racing?
Well, it's more like what not have we done?
Yeah.
It's getting it back racing is we pretty much, I ain't gonna say had to start over. We had something to go off of, but the walls had fell in. So I went in there and I was like, you know, stuff didn't look, you know, if the post looked bad, we just tore it out. And then Kevin, the previous owner, Kevin Mayab, he told me, he said, there's rock in there, slate rock. And I was like, well, we're gonna cut it out one way or another. And my poor old backhoe, I've beat it to death. I've beaten. We've lots of, you know, we've worked on it pretty much 7 days a week, almost for 2.5 months. It shut down. I should have answered that first, but it shut down in July in July in 2016.
Okay.
That was the last race. Jackie. I think the last race they ran was a Battle of the Bluegrass, Winston Mayab Memorial, and Jackie Boggs actually won that race.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was sorry. And you know, we've had to replace probably I'm gonna say we've had to replace 1,300 feet of guardrail, like you know, top and bottom strands both.
Man, that's a lot of work.
Yes, sir. I had a guy down the road that he owns Lawson Drilling, and he Lawson Drilling. I forgot. Shoot, my brain went blank on me. I'm sorry. But anyway, he brought his big drilling machine up, like they drill on these road jobs with and stuff.
Yeah.
And he drilled right through that rock, and then I went to Olympia Post Mill in Owensville, Kentucky, and bought all my posts and put them in, and we got our lag boats, and we lag boated everything back to our posts and filled in behind them, and then he come back up and drilled all of our posts for chain link fence. It's just like 2.5-inch pipe, thick walled pipe, and they're set over 10 foot all the way around the track. There's a bunch of them.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
But it's been a job.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, and expense all in the same. But it's good to have someone like that being willing to help you too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of the things a lot of people, I would say, the question we get most on here, and just in talking to people, you know, speaking to people about the racetrack, I believe it turns 1 and 2 at one time to try to maybe lengthen the track to help the track a little bit. They had reconfigured that corner of the racetrack, and you know, the feedback that we've heard from that wasn't positive. The track was better before, it seemed like most people felt. So what have you done in that regard?
Well, that was the first question. Pretty much whenever I made it public, and that people started figuring out that I bought the track, what are you gonna do that number 1 and 2 turn? So I was originally going to try to just limp it through and fix it this winter, but my sister, she talked me into it. She said, "Hey," she said, "you got to fix that." And so I took her at her word, and I was like, "Well, all right, I'm gonna." And I didn't think it was going to take very long to do. And we widened it like 40 feet, and we moved over 300, probably about, I would say 350 dump truck loads of dirt out of that one corner, and hauled it all to the back and spread it out and made a little bit, or made our parking for pit parking on the back side of the track just a little bit better. It's but it has been it's been a chore, and it's all on like everybody, they love 3 and 4 turns, and banking. It's really close. It may not be 100% like 3 and 4, but it's still work in progress. We've tomorrow we're going to go back tomorrow and start grading on it. Kevin Mayab, he still comes and helps me work on it. He's there about every evening, and his uncle Wayne Mayab, he comes up, and he's up in Nate, but he runs the grader for us, and
I got you.
He's really good at it. That's I thought I was getting good on it until I watched him, and then I was like, no. Like I ain't even figured it out yet.
Yeah. Well, that's good too, man. Yeah, because I mean, like I remember Kevin and Janet being there, so like it's good to have previous owner support too. You know, I mean, when I was doing dirt racing in the Bluegrass before, we had a website and everything. We were doing like topped out live updates from the track, and Tyler Rigsby was getting results every weekend on Sundays from every track around and posting them on the website. But Kevin and Janet were some of the nicest people, and very supportive of what we were doing back then. They're just great people. So I mean, for you being a new track owner, to have their support has to mean a lot too.
Yes, it is. And Janet, she'll message me sometimes. She tell me, "Get your butt up and go to work." It'll be like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's too dark. I'm like, well, I'll try. And we joke and cut up all the time. And but being Kevin, he actually, I've a logger. I don't really have a tractor right now. I've got everything but a tractor, and so he comes up and he'll bring his tractor and he helps me work on the track. And it's really, we had a few cars on the track last Sunday just to try it out, and it went really good. It was pretty smooth. Wasn't no bad spots in it really. There's a few spots we need to work on. Nothing major. It's slick. It got slick and dry, and but it turned out really well. It's I was going to tell you the degrees of the banking. Sorry, I messed up and didn't do it a minute ago. It's like 25 degrees on the top. Then it kind of feathers off to about 15 degrees in the bottom. And they say it's to make a real good racy track. Kind of gives if a guy's got a smaller motor and lays it in high, he can, and a guy got a big motor on the bottom, they said he can gives him a chance up top.
Yeah.
But it's coming along. It's just if it wasn't for Kevin, I couldn't do what I do, because he's been there with me, just about every day the last week, anyways.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That means a lot to have them in your corner and their support, and then if you got any questions, you can kind of bounce things off of them. They've been there and done that, and that's just awesome that they're there and helping you and giving you that support. I know it has to mean a lot.
Yes, sir. It does, and it's if I've not, I've never run a dirt track before, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's really exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Wes, I know you said you didn't get to go. I was fortunate enough to be able to attend some races there at 191. We've got videos on YouTube from back in the day when we were also trying to video races and that sort of thing. And I know Jeff Sox, he never was, but there's some of those videos on there too. But man, some of the guys that come to mind when it just comes to that racetrack, one is Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher was really hard to beat there. I mean, he was tough. Greg Hensley, of course, Randy Jones. I mean, a lot of people that I remember from 191, like regulars there that had a lot of success and a lot of fun on that racetrack. And so it's just really good to see that more of that is to come. Have you talked to a lot of drivers? Have you all talked to a lot of drivers that are, I'm sure, itching, ready for that first race?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's a bunch of them. They message me every day. I had a guy there today, one of my buddies. I was actually almost late for a podcast. He's up there wanting to bring his late model up and try the track out. So he's said he's getting ready to go to I think so wherever to the hurricane's hitting. I think he said Florida or South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
And he wasn't gonna be able to make it to the practice, so I told him to come on up and try it. And they've been lots of interest in it. They've usually maybe about 2 or 3 people in the weekday. You know, it's in the evening. Different people come and look at the track and see. Yeah. They'll go out there and walk around on it, and then they'll come back and this reminds me of like a miniature Tazewell or something.
Yeah,
that kind of makes me feel good.
Sure.
Yeah, especially because the banking there at Tazewell, it's a beast.
That's what Greg told me. Greg Hensley. Me and him was talking up there over the weekend, and he said I was sitting there, and he said I had a flat tire, and and he said the guy in front of me just flipped 4 times over the hill to the bottom, from top to bottom. He said I told him I'm done. He said I'm already broke. He said I might as well go ahead and go out, and he's laughing about it. But he said he raced at Tazewell. He said it's a really good track though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? One of the things that's since 191 Speedway shut down, there's been this sort of like boom nationally. I feel like with quarter mile, small tracks. It's just kind of been announced. Pennsboro, they're rebuilding Pennsboro, but it's not going to be the original facility. They're going to build a little quarter mile bull ring there, where Pennsboro, basically in the middle of Pennsboro, what used to be the old Pennsboro Speedway. Of course, you got the Gateway Nationals now and all that kind of stuff going on. So, I mean, I think I always enjoyed 191 because it's close quarter racing and just a lot of fun. And I think that's kind of what people want these days. It seems like in dirt racing is just that type of racetrack. So I think the future is bright for 191 Speedway for sure.
I think it is too. Whenever I was talking about buying a racetrack at first, there's a few people was reaching out to me, talking to me about this and that. And there's another track I was considering, and they said, "Listen, they said these big tracks. They said it's a lot easier on our equipment to race these smaller tracks because you get them big tracks. You said we stretch your motors out a lot tighter and have to rev them harder, and he said it's too hard on our equipment." So I was like, well, if the drivers want a good track, smaller banked racy track, I'm gonna get 191, do the best I can with it, and and one of the questions I get asked more than anything in the world. Probably I've been asked 500 times in the last 2.5 months. That's how in the world did you buy the racetrack? Because everybody, I guess there's been several people try to buy it, and just Kevin and them wasn't interested in selling it. And I feel very fortunate to be able to own the track.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you're out there listening, you're hearing a lawnmower. That is totally my fault. I'm to blame for the lawnmower. And yes, it is dark, and no, there are no headlights on this lawnmower. And he's mowing what looks like a hayfield. He mows like once every 3 months, and somehow he's still mowing, and there's no headlights on the lawnmower. And I don't know, man. That takes skill, I feel like. But anyways, kudos to our neighbor.
If he had a good next door neighbor that'd mow it for him,
yeah.
You'd think you'd help a buddy out there and mow for him.
Yeah, he'd be set, wouldn't he?
He would.
Yeah. The one thing I was wondering if his last name's Collinsworth.
Yeah, right.
I'll mine 3 times a year probably.
Well, all right. So my wife, I have to weed eat once a month, but my wife mows here at the house. She mows our property here, so I can't really say much about
Mine's
my
like a
neighbor.
step up.
So, yeah. So,
I'm,
all
I'm
right.
in the doghouse.
Main thing is, does she help you at the track?
Yeah, which we got 4 kids and little boy. He's just a little over a month old.
Yeah.
So she's got her hands pretty full, and she does the business side of the everything, paperwork, phone calls, the important stuff. I'm just
That's
here.
right.
She's
Yeah.
the sheep and I'm the Indian.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're the labor hand, and she keeps it moving.
She keeps everything running straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
kind of like me and Wes. Wes, he talks to everybody. He just worldwide Wes. I keep everything rolling here. So,
I'm trying to keep it all grounded.
yeah, yeah. I know all about it. But yeah. All right. So the big question, you got a practice coming up this Saturday at the racetrack. I know you'll probably have plenty of drivers on hand for that. So any of the drivers, you can go over there, practice during the day, and still catch a race on Saturday night. So check out the new track up there, or new to them track, reopened track, I guess I should say. But beyond the practice on Saturday, what are your immediate plans for the year, and then moving forward as well?
Well, that's I was gonna try to race the weekend after next week, not this weekend, but the next. But it's the Eldora and part of the people that's helping me get the track up and going, and I'm like, they're going to that race, and I can't ask them not to. So
Right.
I'm gonna practice that weekend too, and then the 16th, September 16th, I'm gonna have my first race. We're gonna try to have like a Wentz Mab Memorial. He's the kind of the founder of the track. He's the one that was his dream for 191 Speedway, and I just seems like it's the least that I can do to in memory of him.
For sure,
and,
yeah.
And with saying that my Uncle Kenny. The one reason that I always loved racing is my Uncle Kenny. Growing up, as a kid, I watched my uncle. He run no bomber, hobby stocks what they are now. His old Camaro K93 is blue and white. He'd be working on it down there and below my dad's, and I'd go there and watch him. I didn't know what I was looking at, but it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually the 2010 he passed away up at the track. He come out off the track out of the feature and got getting out of his car and passed away. Or had a heart attack falling out and fell out of the car and passed away. So it's kind of sentimental, like two or three different ways,
For sure, yeah.
And then I was building me a car. I was in the process of building me a car to race too. And the very next weekend I got it done, and I went up there and raced, and it was ugly. It was a little Chevette that was lime green and had a Ford Mustang motor. It was a Frankenstein.
A Chevette with a Mustang motor.
Yeah, I started that trim.
Is it like a 2.3 or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would fly on a smaller track,
I bet.
I never did give it enough. I never kept it long enough. I that winter, whenever everything shut down, I give the motor away and junked the car and built me a bomber and raced it for the next year, and then raced 4 cylinders and stuff after that. But it's kind of racing's in the family, and it's I kind of I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a family. Well, I think that's true for all. It really seems like you talk to racing people, track owners, whoever, all of us. I think it all comes down to like family. It's a family type thing. It's a lifestyle sort of thing. It's a way of life. I mean, I know that's true for Wes. It's true for, myself. I mean, we had people who we were close to that got us involved in this sport. It's deep. It's in our blood, and you can't get rid of it. And seems like as you go farther in life, the deeper you get into it, and like buying a racetrack.
Right.
So
That's I've had tons of people message me, and say, we have. I used to come there with my grandfather, my dad, and they're no longer with us. And I've had probably 300 messages, people saying that, and
Yeah.
and I want to be a family oriented track,
Yeah.
and I don't know at what point I'll be able to do it. Like some of the old roll-in vehicles I get, I'm gonna pick a select few that's in really good shape, and I'm gonna let like some of the younger kids come out of the grandstands and give them some probably like marker paint or something, and paint the vehicles like bright orange. I don't
Yeah.
care if the windows would scrape it off with a razor, and
Right.
then some of the older kids like that can actually drive if they've got a parent with them, and sign the waiver. Maybe let them go out on the track, and after it started packing up and the car won't slide over the hill with them, let them go up there
Yeah.
make 3 or 4 laps or something, and then come in and the next one make 3 or 4 laps, and I
Yeah.
think it'll get them into racing because there's a lot of kids that get on the wrong path or something,
Yeah.
and I feel that this is a way that they'll keep their minds busy elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And so like a little bit of appreciation. I appreciate them coming and spending their money or coming and watching my races or however coming to 191 Speedway. It's
Yeah.
I want to I want to. A lot of people, I guess, just worry about a dollar. I worry about what everybody thinks about the track, and as long as they have a good time, that's my main concern.
Yep. No, I think it's a good plan, and get those younger guys involved. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
yeah. All right, one other big question before we let you go. We got to get to this one. There's a few, and look, if you can't answer it, you're not prepared to answer it. You don't know yet. You can just say, "I don't know." I promise, it won't hurt our feelings at all. But what classes are you planning on running? That's probably the first question we got the most. Is probably what'd you do to turns 1 and 2? The second question is what classes are running. Do you have that figured out yet?
Well, I have. I've well, kind of my practices. This is kind of what I've told a lot of people. With the late models, I've I hate to do it, but like I'm gonna probably end up for this year, and I can try to figure out something next year if it don't work out. Like I was just gonna try to run the late models together, supers and crate lights and stuff. I know some say it's kind of unfair, and I don't. I'm at a standstill with it until I actually get me a few races in to see what I can do. Um, but I'm not going to say that it's not a possibility to run a crate class or something.
Yeah.
But it'd probably be next year before I could fit it in. Probably I'll run UMP mods, and uh, the rules will kind of be the same as they are if we run the same rules. But the sport mods, if there's enough shows up to my practices that I can create a class with, I'll probably try to create a sport mod class. You
Okay.
know, it's really stressful for me, but I do have some good friends, Scott McLeod and Hunter and Garrett that they've asked, and uh, Eric Evan Robinson, and so he came to my practice the other day, and a few others. It's run sport mods, and I really hope that I get enough to create a class for them because they're uh, they're not hardly got the powers of UMP mods. Then I'll run KDR, hey, super stocks,
Yeah.
and 4 cylinders.
Okay.
KDR is they kind of are what you bring, I guess. They got their rules, but they're uh, they're fast, and but the 4 cylinders, just on them mainly, I want like stock suspension stuff like that, stock transmission, stock block, stock head.
Yeah.
Um, I know some people's going to work on their motors a little, and it's really hard to tell somebody to tear their motor down if they win. Kind of one thing I was kind of thinking in the 4 cylinders, if somebody wins 2 or 3 times the feature, two probably like it'd be like a 2 time. They win twice, stick in the feature. They start on the back and race
Yep, we're here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
You're
it.
good.
And just kind of start them on the back and let them come to the front, just to give everybody a fighting chance. Or later, after I get enough 4 cylinders, split them up in like a fast class and a slow class, like 191 had before. That worked
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people message me and ask me about front wheel drives, and I'm like, I hate to just try to make a front wheel drive class, and I just kind of mix them together. And it's because there's a lot of people that's got Mustangs and Chevettes up in here still. They've been dragging them
Right.
out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I
that's
think
good.
on a
Yeah.
track, yeah, and I think on a track like 191, there's an opportunity there for front wheel drives and Mustangs to be able to run together.
Yep.
And I think it's something that could work well for
Yes,
sure.
I had a little Honda. I had a Honda CRX or something like that. And it wasn't plumb stock, but it'd go out there and it would, most of them would half track them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna stand
Yeah.
on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I know what you mean. So, well, good things to come. So, I know a lot of people have been asking. So it sounds like no racing on the week of what is that, the 9th? I think it is September 9th.
Yeah.
Same as the World 100. It'd be another practice then, but then racing to come, and I'm sure you'll post that. You can follow 191 Speedway, the Facebook page. Be sure to like 191 Speedway on Facebook. They'll have all the information to come then as far as scheduling. All that goes. Yeah, David Lucas says, Josh, we had plenty of front wheel drives to outrun us. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, you're right about that, David. We sure did. We sure did, buddy. It was fun at Richmond to try to keep up with those front wheel drives. So I think it'll be just as fun at 191.
It
Yeah,
will.
that's very true.
But I'm sorry that I talk too much and get to
No,
riding.
you
Oh,
ain't
listen.
talking about no.
No, it's been good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so my wife had to go feed the baby.
Perfect. Yeah.
He's the boss now.
Yeah, for sure. That's completely understandable. Yes. No, you haven't talked too much at all. I think it's been great. It's what we bring you. We bring you guys on here to talk and give the people what they really want. They want to hear from you all and not so much us. So it's been good.
I tell her. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say, I tell everybody if I ain't got nobody else to talk to, I'll talk to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
And you all, I would really, really appreciate if y'all would want to come to 191 and watch a race anytime y'all want to. We plan to have our first race September 16th. I didn't know
Okay.
if I told you or not.
All right.
But we hope we hope everybody has a good time. And everything at the track ain't 100% right now. It's not where I want it, but it's kind of where that I guess I can afford to put it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
It ain't don't look bad. It's got a few little things here and there. It might not be exactly perfect just yet. And in the pitting area, the pit and the concession stands in the pits, I built onto the front of it and I'm going to put a picnic table from one side to the other, so it'll be under a roof and people can get in out of the sun and stuff like that. And,
Okay.
There's a lot went on. To me it feels like it's a never ending process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine it is. I'm waiting on you, Wes. You look like you had something to say. So you started to say something. I'm gonna give you Wes's minute right here before we let him go. Yeah, that's right.
The main question I'm seeing and a lot of people have mentioned to me is, are you going to run every race? Is it going to be on Saturday nights? That's been the biggest question I've heard.
Yes, sir. And the reason being is Kevin. He's ran the track for several years, and he told me, he said whenever he started changing his nights up, he said he started getting his car count started falling because some people didn't exactly know that he changed it up, and they'd show up on this night, and he said so started. He said it started. His car count started falling. He said so. He said what he told me. He said I honestly think the track will stand for itself, and he said just run on Saturdays, and get what you can get. And he said treat people right, and he said you'll have a lot of you'll have a good car count is what he told me. That's so I hope I do.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not going to be able to afford transponders this year, but we're renting them. I forgot the guy's name we're renting them from, but he sells West Hold transponders, and he's going to come up and demo them this weekend at the practice, and then whenever we have our first race, he's going to come up and set everything back up, and we're going at least everything will be fair.
Yeah,
There won't be no he said she said stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal. Yeah. Sounds awesome, man. Can't wait. Can't wait to come back to 191 Speedway and check out some racing there. It's really an awesome thing. Thank you for buying that racetrack and all the hard work you've put into the place to bring it back. I mean, on behalf of the whole racing community and all the people that missed the track and drivers, fans, everybody, we really appreciate what you've done. Can't wait to see all your efforts pay off.
I hope so. And I appreciate you too for having me on here and letting me talk y'all's ears off.
Oh, you're good. Glad you did. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Glad
sure.
to have y'all on tonight.
That's appreciate you. That's and if y'all have any questions at all, you're more than welcome. I'll give y'all my cell phone number on Facebook, and you can call me, and or I'll shoot you my number, and
yeah,
you're more than welcome to call me anytime you need to. Or,
yeah. Send us that information.
And I'll even loan you a lawnmower if you want to mow your neighbor's yard.
Not a chance. Yeah, I've got one, but he couldn't pay me enough to mow his yard. You wouldn't want me to mow his yard with a lawnmower either. I just tell you that you want to bring Kevin's tractor down here with a bush hog and help him out. So
well, to be honest with you, I've 191 hasn't been bush hog this year.
Oh, okay.
And, I got an old Dixie chopper mower, one of the big industrial grade ones, and my buddy's dad said, I think I can take that mower and mow that. And I'm like, I mean, if you want to try it, I mean, I have at it. I'm not going to carry the mower. He went out there and bush hogged every bit of that. I mean, it's over top of your head walking through it.
Man,
it mowed it up. I'm like,
wow.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot of work. All right, well, we better wrap this thing up. We've had an awesome show. I really was looking forward to having you guys on here. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you in a few weeks on September 16th. The plans. Be sure, like I said, everybody check them out on Facebook. 191 Speedway. Thank you all for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, I appreciate you.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Y'all been been nice meeting y'all.
Yeah, for sure, man. Same here. All right, have a good evening, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right, so Norval and Miranda Collinsworth, the brand new owners of a Kentucky dirt track, 191 Speedway, and very, very thankful for what they've done, the work that they've done up there, and looking forward to getting back up there, Wes. I can't wait for you to be able to go up there and check that place out. Since I know you've never been there, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Sure am.
All right, real quick, we need to get to the weekend ahead, and really a couple weeks ahead, because I do want to mention real quick. So we won't have a podcast next Wednesday night. We are, like I said, we planned all year our big trip, Wes, our celebration, our payment for the year, a trip to the World 100. Really looking forward to that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have us a camper rented, and we won't be homeless when we make it up to Eldora Speedway. Working on that, but we're going to get there. I promise we will. Wes has already got us a golf cart.
I got us a golf cart today, so.
Well, if we have to, we'll sleep in the golf cart. It'll be all right.
I guess so.
And David Tilley, he wouldn't let us go homeless. He hooked us up with a camping spot and helping us out with that. So really appreciate him. So yeah, we'll get a camper put on it hopefully.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, so we won't have a podcast episode next Wednesday night. We'll be taking that night off because we are going Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and be away from our families and all that stuff. So spend a little extra time with them on Wednesday night. So I want to go over this the next couple of weeks, ahead and talk about what we've got coming up here in the great state of Kentucky. So Saturday, September 2nd, that's this Saturday, will be a regular points race at Rockcastle Speedway. And then also, though, this is the big one, Wes, coming up Saturday, September 9th. How about I don't know if I've ever, in the state of Kentucky, I don't recall a memorial race for a lady. The Sandy Adams Memorial, 5,000 to win for open wheel modifieds. Of course, Sandy being a racetrack owner, both Richmond, I know, and then Richmond and Rockcastle Speedway. So really a cool deal there. And that'll be a big show for open wheel modifieds, the same night as the World, so we'll be up there. But that's going to be a huge event for Rockcastle, I think.
Yeah, and that's one I already heard a lot of drivers talking about that. It wouldn't surprise me to see just a huge turnout of modifieds up there for that event. I know it's during the World 100 weekend, but tracks in the state of Kentucky can still run and put on good shows that weekend as well.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And really excited about that. Like I said, I did want to go ahead and mention that because we won't have an episode next weekend. So just if you're in this area, be sure to check that race out. I think it'll be a really good one. I'll be honest with you, I really wish we could have made it. Wish we could be two places at once because I'd like to be able to be there for that one. And then this weekend coming up at Mud Lick Valley Raceway, they're going to have 3,500 to win Super Late Model Special. That's on a Sunday, September 3rd, there at Mud Lick Valley. 3,500 to win late models. They're also running crate late models, UMP modified sport mods, KDRAs, and Hornets there. So be a big show for that one. And then also on October 7th, I believe it is, I think I saw on their Facebook page, they're also having their first 10,000 to win race for super late models. So that's one they're really looking forward to, and be a big event for them. First year up there at Mud Lick. So that'll be a big one. And 3,500, little warm up coming up this Sunday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a big one too, Wes. Coming up this weekend.
Had a bunch of drivers talking about this over this past weekend. Mods on the Mountain at Thunder Mountain Speedway, 3,000 to win, open wheel modifieds. This coming Saturday, September the 2nd, and a regular show for all of their classes. So it's going to be a big night up on the mountain.
Yes, it will. Absolutely, it will for sure. Looking forward to that one. So 2 big weekends in a row coming up for open wheel modifieds. 3,000 to win this weekend at Thunder Mountain, and 5,000 to win the following weekend there at Rockcastle. So really hope they have a great turnout and go out and support these tracks modifieds. I hear all the time, and I agree 100%. Modifieds need more big paying shows. For whatever reason, they seem to, not have as many as some of these other classes, and a lot of money in that class, with those guys put in a lot of work, hard work, effort, biggest car counts in some of the, of any class. And so good to see them getting some big shows. So you got 2 weeks in a row. Go out and support these classes. We ought to see 40, 50 cars at both of those, I think it would be a good step in the right direction when it comes to that class getting more bigger paying shows in the future.
Yeah, really, really cool deal to see both of those tracks having big modified shows. So drivers get out and support both those tracks and go run for that big money.
Yeah. And Lake Cumberland Speedway coming up this weekend. This is also going to be on Sunday, September 3rd at 7 p.m. Pro late models, 2,000 to win. Of course, this weekend being Labor Day weekend, everybody's going to have, or most people are going to have Monday off coming up. So good opportunity. Sunday, September 3rd, 2,000 to win. Pro late models, open wheel modifieds, super stocks, hobby stocks, and front wheel drive mini stocks. So Wes, August is over, but a huge weekend of racing coming up this weekend.
Yep, the first weekend in September. I mean, just huge across the board for a lot of our tracks here in the central part of the state. So, man, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be awesome, and really looking forward to it. All right, so like I said, next week no podcast. We'll miss everybody. We'll have some coverage coming up from the World 100. We're gonna do some stuff when we go up there. One thing we're gonna do for one weekend out of the year though, we're gonna be race fans. If you give us a vacation, we're gonna go to a racetrack, and we're going to the World 100. That's gonna be a whole lot of fun. So we're just gonna enjoy ourselves being up there, camping, the whole experience of the World 100, the people there, and it's going to be awesome. But we will do some stuff while we're up there, just talk to some of our drivers and maybe do some videos and interviews and that sort of thing, kind of like what we did last year. But for most of it, we're going to play some cornhole and maybe like drink some water and do all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, and but we're gonna do some stuff. So just kind of be looking, and if you all are going to be there, so holler at us, send us a message on Facebook, and we'd love to meet some of you all that we've not seen at the tracks, or even if we have, just holler at us, give us a shout out, and we can't wait. Looking forward to seeing everybody up there.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Well, it's been a fun show. I do want to thank our sponsors here. Real quick before we let you go, Smokehouse Grill and Buffet, they're our presenting sponsor this year. Racetrack Connection, the Racetrack Connection Hotline, the Bluegrass Restoration and Construction. They're also our live coverage presenting sponsor. We appreciate everything they do for us here on the podcast with our live coverage and everything else we've decided to do. The Detail Shop, Extreme Style Signs and Graphics, Fast Track Racing Series, Ultimate Heart of America Super Late Model Series, Dirtman Diecast, CT Promotions, Mud Lick Valley Raceway, Richmond Raceway, Rockcastle Speedway, Thunder Mountain Speedway, Lake Cumberland Speedway, Ponderosa Speedway, the Valvoline Ironman Late Model Series, and the Bruce Built Performance Ironman Modified Series. All right, and that does it for our sponsors. That does it for this show. It has been so much fun. Thank you to the folks from 191 Speedway for coming on. Can't wait to get up there soon. As for this weekend, Wes, and the weekend to come, we will see you at the races.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great night.